Hey everyone, it's Xant. So, I said I would make a proper review-style video for Crestoria. If the title of this video somehow wasn't a dead tell, this is it. I spent the last 12 hours playing Crestoria, practically non-stop. I had to eventually end my binge, however, because my phone battery wasn't charging quick enough to keep up with my abuse. Now, if you want a quick, too long didn't watch review, Crestoria is good. You can pick your first character, it's plagued with problems and crashes, but it is a beta, and most of my gripes are things that should be hammered out by launch. You can also pick your first character. Combat is actually engaging and requires some brain power, the gacha is friendly, raids have the potential to be fun, arena makes me die on the inside, and did I mention you can pick your first character? Now if you're in this video for the long haul, and want my opinions, buckle up. I'm quite an opinionated person. However, remember that anything I talk about is only true for this open beta, and it might be changed or removed come future betas or proper launch. Thus, this is a very loose guideline if anything. Now, I'm going to start with the things I don't think are truly positive or negative, and then I'll talk pros and end on cons. Why? Because that's how I wrote my thoughts out, and I don't feel like rearranging them for you. Suffer. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, gacha is the elephant in the room here. It comes with standard rates, 5% SSR and 20% SR. There's no weapon gachas though, just Memoria Stones. Thank God, Raze gave me a bad time. Now, some Memoria Stones come with characters, some don't. How are these selected? Hell if I know. Only SR and SSRs get them though. Rare units are left in the cold. Also, it seems only SSR units have Mystic Arts. Now, there is a pseudo-pity system. You can break down Memoria Stones you don't want for equivalent rarity shards. You trade enough SSR shards in, and you can get an SSR ticket, or twice the amount of that, and you can get an item that allows you to ascend or limit break a character, or Memoria Stone. Pretty much a catch-all dupe item. There is no guarantee, though, after X rolls or anything in that vein, but you know what? It seems to be something that's becoming normal. I don't agree with it, but that's just how it is. Now, I'm not really warm or cold to the idea of special units being behind an arena-specific gacha. It just gives meaning to the mode beyond materials for players. Since it's RNG at least, it doesn't really guarantee this stuff to OP players who dominate the arena. And beyond that, the exchange shop overall, though obviously benefiting the players who throw money at the game, doesn't give them too steep an advantage. There's no guarantee system, RNG is still king. Lastly, each character has a good amount of things to work on. You have affinity level, which gives you rewards for just using a character. You have up to 2 skills that you need art tomes to level up. You have a mystic art to level, the ascension of your character, their awakening to unlock a new skill, optionally their Memoria Stone. For beginning players, this is going to be a bit of a slog to work on and a lot to kind of look at, but like most games, once you're established and have some lineups, it's going to be a piece of cake. Now, out of neutral territory, we're going to make landfall in positive beaches. So you may or may not have noticed how much I mentioned you get to pick your first character. Fresh out of the tutorial, you're given the choice to select a unit of whatever rarity, SSR, SR, rare, whatever. Anything in that initial pool is ripe for the picking. I pray this makes it to the actual launch, because this is exactly what we need to curb the ridiculous amount of rerolling people have to do to start the game with the unit they want. There will still be rerolling, I have no doubts about that, because people will still want their meta top tier starting team. Whatever. It may have been also done to prevent a network test from being tested in the wrong fashion. Who knows? We'll see. I was quite happy with the Homescreen customization. It's more flexible than I thought originally. You have up to 4 3D models and a 3D background of your choice as a home screen, or if you prefer 2D, you can use up to 6 Memoria art shots or status images as backdrops. It's really cool. It also adds another set of collectibles. You got special home screen backgrounds and things like that which come out during events, and that gets me hype. I love my little collectibles like that. In general, the music selection is really nice. That's to be expected though, I guess. It's not like they have years of experience in this department or anything, what with all the JRPGs under their belt. I mentioned character affinity before. Long and short is that using your characters gives you rewards. This can range from gadget currency to tomes that can level skills. Useful things, more or less. AP, the thing you need to play the game, your stamina, regenerates at a healthy 1 point per 3 minutes, with raid stamina regenerating at 1 point per 20 minutes. That's kinda steep, but consider, raids give you ascension materials and art tomes. I think the trade-off is acceptable for that. The final big pro, to me, loading time is negligible. Literally, this thing loads in the time it takes for me to blink my eyes. I don't know what black magic they use to get my phone to render all the characters, the enemies, the background, and all that in such a short time, but you get my vote. It also takes like 10 seconds to go from launching my game to sitting on the home screen. Like, that just blows my mind. All these modern mobile games take something like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds just to register, like, oh, hey, you've clicked, I'm gonna connect to check for updates and crap like that. This is so fast. Hope it stays like that. Alright, now we spent enough time knob polishing, so it's time to talk some smack and light this beach on fire. To reiterate, this game absolutely demolishes your battery life, about the same amount as GBGW, if not a smidgen more. However, I believe the performance trade-off is worth it. Like I said, it takes almost no time to load things, which is great. The game suffers from insane stuttering and frame drops in combat though, even at absolute minimum settings. My phone, a OnePlus 6, was seeing frames dropping to sub 10 at times. The menus weren't spared from this either. Randomly, I'd find myself watching the menu, slowly moving around like a little slideshow. It almost feels like a memory leak. However, the times it wasn't stuttering, the game was crashing. Hard. I think I spent about the same amount of time trying to load back into the game in comparison to actually playing it. Check my missions? Crash. Go to the global chat? Crash. Loading my home screen? Crash. At least the load times made it bearable. Thinking about crashing, the sheer amount of bugs in this game has me absolutely mind-boggled. I was actually talking to a subscriber of mine while we were both playing Crestoria, and he actually got his account deleted after a crash. He logged back in after a crash and he was greeted with a Japanese interface, and then immediately crashed, and on reboot, terms and services agreement, account gone. Hopefully, this is something that they address, because that would be horrifying. Lastly, the translations. Good lord, the translations. I didn't find many errors in the story script, not that I was looking closely at it, but the menu text, the commonly seen messages, notifications, it looks like they were directly machine translated. With all this in mind, however, it is a network test. It's a beta. I assume they were expecting these bugs to happen. I expect that they have a better build laying around somewhere and they just wanted to make sure that their servers were going to work when a whole bunch of people connected on day one. I pray they were. Anyways. Now, before I wrap up this video, I do want to just briefly talk about raids, the arena, tower, and I guess I'll throw in a little bit about guilds. I'll start with the tower first. It's pretty cut and dry. Phantom Tower will get unlocked relatively early on, and it's just hard fights. You're told the element beforehand, and countering them shouldn't be too hard after a few days of grinding up a handful of different units, but frankly the rewards are completely worth it. For example, this beta session's tower rewards are an SSR Kratos Memoria and SR Hugh Memoria. Pretty slick prizes, but it should be noted that there's no character added to your roster for these. Obviously, there's other prizes for clearing. You got your Rainbow XP pots, Gold, Gleam Stones. So the trade-off for fighting a very hard mission is worth it. The arena gives me mixed feelings, however. On one hand, PvP is a huge drive to improve, and I know lots of people like a good competitive field in their games. On the other, it just further accentuates the huge gap that already exists between the higher end players, whales and things like that, and everyone else with the prizes they decided on. Large amounts of gacha currency, a huge amount of arena tokens. Well, I'm not a fan of PvP to start with, so I'm just going to chalk it up to that, and we'll see how it works in practice. Like I said, guilds are a thing. Daily logins, donating items or gold to your guild and other tasks will give guild funds. And you can use that to buy buffs, upgrade your guild, and all these other convenient things that kind of overall boost the usefulness of being in your guild. You can also generate guild points, and you can roll the guild gacha with it. So there's a little extra fix for you. Lastly, raids. Now these are very straightforward. They use BP, the red bar that shows up beside your stamina once you unlocked raids, at least if you're joining someone else. If not, you use your own AP, your stamina. You fight a very strong boss monster, and a large amount of players can join in to beat it into drops. The higher your contribution, in other words total damage, the better your rewards at the end. I actually talked about this a while ago when they talked about all these features in that Twitter thread they did. MVP in the fight gets 2 bonus drops, Vice MVP gets 1 bonus drop. As I said before, raids drop things that you need, items to ascend your units, tomes to level your skills, so make sure as soon as you unlock raids, you start doing them. Also, they're just fun to do. Alright, so that's my day 1 overall impression and notes that I have sitting here on Crestoria. Now, I didn't talk about the best grids, the Memoria Stones, or team comps. Because, for one, it's a bloody network beta test. Hold your horses there, bucko, slow down. And second, I'm not a metagamer. I play with my favorites when possible, especially in a game like this. I'll probably end up doing videos for new content, a lot like I do for GBGW, and give my opinions on how I feel that the new items and characters coming in are going to handle. But for the most part, don't expect super high-end, in-depth things. Until the game's mechanics are finalized, chill pill. That's the long and short. Low-key though, Leon is pretty great and Kronos' Memoria is hilarious. Anyways, thanks for tuning in guys, peace out, and I'll see you in the next video.